We're springing ahead this weekend. Now it's time for a visit from a guy who is back from the future. 1 hour in the future on Rock 107.
Prospector. Listen, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to tell you. They ran out of mint flavoring at your Dunkin'.
He's returned from 1 hour in the future on Rock 107.
Hey, Mr. Manly here with lesson number 318 in How to Be Manly. As we spring forward this weekend, it's also a reminder to change the batteries in our smoke alarms, especially in my manly household, where many sparks fly during the course of the year. But so far, no fires. By the end of the night, I'm usually left holding my smoking gun. So to the hardware store I go to get the proper batteries. There was a saleswoman there with fiery red hair, freckles, and 2 noticeable smoking alarms. If there were any more smoking, she would have set off the sprinkler system. She said, "I'm Phoenix, like the sun." I said, "Yeah, no kidding." I said, "I'm looking for some new batteries for my smoke alarms. What batteries do you suggest?" She says, "There's always the Ever-Ready. That's been around for many years. Then we have the Energizer. I just love imitating that bunny, hopping around, and, of course, the Duracell, which means durable cell for long-lasting pleasure." Well, after hearing these selections, I decided to let Phoenix know what I wanted to do and to do it in a manly manner. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, follow along in your manly manual, page number 318, and repeat after me. Number 1, let's go back to my place. I'll be ever ready for you. Number 2, Phoenix, show me your Energizer bunny hop. Then you can energize this right here. And number 3, hey, honey, I have a Duracell that also has long-lasting pleasure. Soon after, as Phoenix reduces your Duracell pleasure by hopping all over you like the Energizer bunny, and you're so ever ready for her to stop, you'll realize just what kind of man you really are. Until next time, this is Mr. Manly saying be manly, and good day.
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
A new study claims you can lose weight by tricking yourself into believing your meals are bigger than they actually are. Or to put it another way, skinny people are stupid. The Oscars are Sunday night. I can't wait to watch the season finale of The Last of Us. Bad Bunny turns 29 today. He'll celebrate his birthday with his brothers Awful and Terrible.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in Monday for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
I scour the World Wide Web looking for funny, interesting videos, stuff to put on our websites and to play clips for you here on the show. And when I find one that I think stands out above the rest, I declare it to be the winner of the internet. I have found such a video today. This happened at a holiday concert, but the video is just starting to make the rounds now. A middle school rock band performed Guns N' Roses' classic Sweet Child of Mine, and especially when you consider their ages, it's pretty amazing. Now, obviously, I just gave you some of the highlights. It's about 5.5, 6 minutes long, and the video is up at rock107.com. Just click Winner of the Internet, and you can check it out. There it is, your winner of the Internet for this Friday, March 10th, 2023.
A time long ago, as me mum was in labor, I was stuck in her belly like a two-legged caber, and I broke loose a pissing as she let out a groan. And the midwife cried, aye, he's blood to the bone, blood to the bone, he's blood to the bone, blood, 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 blood to the bone. Now on my last day, how they'll raise up a malt with a tear in their eye, as my clan name is called. When the broadswords are drawn and the sweet pipes are blown, 'twill be a cry like the other. Aye, he's blood to the bone, blood to the bone. That lad was blood, blood. He was a blood lad. In fact, he's got a blood bone. Just look at his bone. He's got a blood bone, aye. And then the time that I see Nessie herself upon the lock and the brook and the
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A 9/11 first responder named Rob Wiesberg is about to start a very long walk this weekend. He's hiking the Appalachian Trail, all 2,200 miles of it, and trying to raise $100,000 for the charity Paws of War. They're the ones who help bring animals back from overseas. His plan is to start in Georgia tomorrow and finish in Maine on September 11th. So 6 months in total. If you want to support him, you can donate through pawsofwar.org.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
The following rant may cause you to pull your hair out, scream at the radio, punch the dashboard. Complaints should be addressed to Loudmouth Yambag at rock107.com.
Hey, I'm Rock 107's Prospector, and here's what's got me jacked already. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and that means parades, and lots of them in Northeast PA. Add to that the fact that I got to deal with tons of people who take their heritage way too seriously for my taste, and you can see why I'm now dreading the parades this weekend. That's right, I said it. I hate having to deal with Irish pride, even though I'm of Irish descent. Or, for that matter, Italian pride, German pride, Norwegian pride, whatever. I'm the type of guy who holds little allegiance to geography and culture. I happen to be a United States citizen, mostly because I was born here, and I'm way too lazy to see what the rest of the world is like. Plus, America ain't bad. But I just know I'm going to run into 100 drunken, freckled-faced, small phallus Irish yambags who tell me how great it is to be Irish and how you got to be proud of your heritage. I got no pride in being Irish or anything else that I have no control over. How can I take credit or pride in the fact that my dad simply liked Irish-looking women? Trust me, if my mom didn't have double D's when she was young, I could have just as easily been of French descent. Man, did I go off on a tangent. What I meant to say was enjoy the parade. Feel free to celebrate your Irish heritage by buying a Guinness for me and then shutting up about it. I'm Prospector. I'm for the people. Who's with me? I gotta go crazy, man!
Ever see the crazy guy screaming at the wall outside the Times building?
Where does this rage come from, my son?
Tweet us with hashtag #IFoundProspector and we'll come and get him. Prospector, mornings on Rock 107. We're springing ahead this weekend. Now it's time for a visit from a guy who is back from the future. 1 hour in the future on Rock 107.
Prospector, you gotta listen to me. I know it sounds crazy. You will be contacted by a Nigerian prince about a large inheritance. You're gonna be rich.
He's returned from 1 hour in the future on Rock 107.
Fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Week, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
If you steal a white Nissan Rogue in New York City, it might take the cops several hours to track you down. If you steal a gigantic airport shuttle, it's only going to take them, well, maybe an hour? A 43-year-old man was arrested in New York last week after he stole an American Airlines employee bus from JFK Airport. The bus was left unattended and idling somewhere, so easy pickings. There was no one else on the bus. It was the middle of the night, but the guy was able to drive it all the way to Manhattan, which is about 20 miles from the airport, before the cops finally closed in on him and pulled him over. They say he was arrested without incident, so there wasn't an overly dramatic Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves bus theatric kind of thing going on. The cops also said he had 10 previous arrests on his record, but this is the first time that he's stolen an American Airlines bus.
Nominee number 2.
You got to put this stuff in the contract. A wedding reception in Florida turned into a nightmare for guests when the venue's owners shut the party down for running late. The nightmare part comes from how he shut it down. According to police, the incident happened around 11 p.m. last Thursday. Who has their wedding on a Thursday anyway? An altercation reportedly occurred because of a time dispute between the owner and the wedding party, and rather than simply working it out or shutting the power off, the owner of the wedding venue pulled out a piece and started waving it around. That did the trick as the cops were called and 2 people were arrested.
Nominee number 3.
Have you ever had a victorious moment blow up in your face? This guy has. A motorcyclist in Florida was part of a group of motorcycle riders being pursued by police after they were caught popping wheelies and driving unsafely. So, of course, the cops are going to try and stop them, and that's when the motorcycle group fled off. One of them, a man named Joshua Richardson, clearly thought he was giving them the slip, so he flipped them off just before he sped through an intersection where he was hit by a truck. Dashcam video shows Richardson turn around, hold up his middle finger just before he's T-boned by an oncoming truck. The footage shows deputies handcuffing Richardson, who tells them, "I'm hurt." One of the deputies responds by calling him an idiot, and Richardson says, "I know." It's unclear if any of the other motorcyclists were captured.
Nominee number 4.
Maybe you just squint or something next time. Ryan Bambick, 52, was driving when she stopped in a roadway to complain about a police officer's bright lights while the officer was on a traffic stop with a drunk driver. So, of course, the officer had their emergency lights activated. Bambick was driving by and stopped in the middle of the road, rolled down her window, and complained about the officer's lights. Officers made contact with her and noticed she exhibited signs of impairment. Cops say her speech was slurred, she had bloodshot eyes, and officers smelled an odor of alcohol coming from her. She then failed field sobriety tests officers asked her to perform. She was charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence, driving on a revoked or suspended license, operating an uninsured motor vehicle, and improper stopping or parking.
And the winner is
the motorcyclist who flipped off the cops who were chasing him, then immediately got T-boned by a truck. You are the Yambag of the Week. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.